channel for a little while, amongst other creative projects. I also kind of did this on a whim today, so I don't know exactly how good the audio is, and so I apologize. If I make it back to this channel, it should get better. About the only thing I can say right now is that I am using Audacity. With no tweaks or settings. And I'm using my Blue Yeti. At this time, I do not have the right computer equipment to use my other microphones. I'm trying to do this in one take, so if I have to clear my throat, I will back away. But ultimately, if anything does happen, I will cut the recording. I do need to specify that if you hear any background noises such as banging, footsteps, or tippy-tappies, that would be my roommates. Yep. I guess I should say welcome back to my channel, or welcome to it if it's the first time you've been here. Why did that have to ding? I don't know if that recorded or not. So this might be a little bit of an overlap if I didn't edit. Welcome back to my possibly resurrected channel. Or if somehow, in some bizarre turn of events, you happen to find this video, well then bless the algorithms. Jeez. Anyways, a lot has changed for me, and I'm not gonna go too in depth right now. Also, if I break out into accents, just forgive me. And I know they're not good. I know they are not good. But they're fun. They're fun. And there's a bit of a backstory. Also, if there are any sort of plasticky sounds about like this, that would just be because your ear, it's one for me, but it's two for you. One for me, two for you. Your ear, aka the Yeti, is sitting on top of a toolbox. A toolbox. My toolbox. That's right. I'm a kick-ass B, because I don't want to swear, so I'm a kick-ass B. Wait, I did just swear. I'm gonna leave that in. We're fine. I didn't want to do a double swear. Oh, it's hot in here. Anyways, I am recording from my very small closet because I thought it would help with the sound absorption. I do have lots of space in this house, but again, kind of big and open. Scratching your head. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Scratch, 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 scratch. So, the Coles Notes version. The Cliff's Notes? The Coles Notes? Is Coles Notes correct? I'll go ahead and admit a little bit that I'm not 100% sober. 100%. Probably about 90% sober. Maybe 85. 85. I thought that I should just kind of chill chill a little before I came to record. Okay, so the short version of what's happened to me since the early panorama days. The early panorama days. I was pushing too hard in every front of my life, every front of my life, every front of my life. I was pushing and pushing and pushing. And I think the panorama helped me realize that. So here we are. About 3 years later, actually, isn't it? Wait, 2020 to 21, 22, 23, yes. And I think my last videos, they were somewhere in the summer. July, maybe August. And as I'm recording, it's August 10th. And of 2023, I should say, right now. Right now, it is August 10th. I'm not sure if I will be able to easily convert this into a file for YouTube. Hopefully. Because if I can, then I'll just upload it overnight tonight. My uploads will have to be overnight. Because our internet is not the best. And there are 3 of us. And there are constantly TVs and phones. We live in a digital age. Okay, so Cliff Notes. I left you guys with that little... I don't remember what I said in it, but I know I left a video saying that I couldn't be here for a while, that I needed a break or something. And then I just disappeared off the face of the planet, didn't I? Sorry. I know I tried a couple times to come back even just to social media, but I actually find social media to be very overwhelming. And right now, I have to say, I'm kind of regretting that I didn't get out my, I don't know what to call them right now, my finger jewelry, so I could scratch your head better. I don't really have any nails right now. Oh, let me just readjust. This closet that I am in is very small and very hot. Very small. Very small. It's a good thing that I am fairly small. So, I had to take the break from the channel. I was working from home, thankfully, and I continued to do so until... Okay, I have just discovered a problem. Let me pause for a moment and fix a technological issue. Okay, I am just getting situated again. Just one moment, please. Unfortunately, with my current setup, and as janky as it is, I kind of need to start recording. It's just very awkward, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because the laptop, if you can call it that, it's a Chromebook. It is just outside of the closet, and the problem... Okay, I should be done with so much of the rustling now. The problem with that is that any outlet is very far away from here, so I thought I would try recording with it not plugged in. The battery life is pretty decent. However, the screen still auto shut off and my recording stopped recording, so because the Bluetooth is hooked up to the Chromebook. Of course. Okay, let's get back to some relaxing and a small catch up of Bree's life. Okay. So, I don't remember much about the panorama for me because, it kind of didn't change my life that bad, but at the same time it did, which is what we're going to get into. I was already pretty much a homebody, and then I got to work from home, which was that was lovely. Though I hated that job. I was so over it. I had been there for so long. And it was a soul-sucking job. I feel like most of them are these days, but let's not get into that. Okay, so during that time, though, my marriage finally fell apart. Finally. And it wasn't bad. It still took a long time. It was a very slow process. We have now been living apart for... What month is August? Because I moved out in January. However, we were separated but living in the same house for quite a while before that. Financially, it was not viable. And even when I did get to move out, it was still me paying more than I was paying and was budgeted for. My timeline might jump a little, so I'll try to be clear here. So I find it kind of ironic that I'm sitting here having been unemployed for a while. That's a whole big story. Okay, let's jump back. So I think it was the fall of 2020, that I started taking essentially medical reception through an online course in a nearby college. And I graduated from that, and I tried to get in to somewhere. I had preferred types of places I wanted to work, but it was very difficult, and I ended up at a company that schedules PSWs. It's not quite what I had, been striving for. But that was a very disheartening job, and probably not for the reasons that you think it was. Yes, there were some clients and even PSWs that just were not great to deal with, but that's life, isn't it? That's life. I just was not a big fan of the state the company was in, and some of my coworkers and how they behaved. And I know that's also life. But I know now that I have a strong desire for just things, like justice, for things to be right for people. Because this is another part of my panorama story. My panorama story. Like many others, I think, because I haven't actually spoken to anyone professional yet, but I plan to. But I think that I am autistic, and probably also ADHD, but that's much more of a backseat driver. And I've always felt a little different, and I see it now. I see it so strongly in myself now, but it's so funny because I don't have the words. I try to express things, and I struggle to express inside thoughts. But listening to so many people and their stories and their feelings and their experiences made me realize that, like, I was struggling. I knew I was struggling, but I didn't know how or why. So anyways, sorry about that. I guess the connection was not very strong, so it wasn't plugged in. I'm going to have to get another, not extension cord. It's a bar, like a 6-foot bar, because these outlets in this room are ridiculous. Ooh, that was bad. Okay, so, what else? Oops, I'm so sorry. What else do I need to talk about or want to? Oh, my Sparky, my boy. Well, I guess, yes, I could talk about that. So, if you were around, you would know about my dogs, Sadie, Hemi, and Sparky. They are still with us and doing well. Sadie and Hemi are getting older, though. I think they are about 13 now. And Sadie just had a little dental surgery, had to have some teeth removed. I have to say I'm very tired of the vet bills. But I have, actually, let me backtrack for a second. So Sadie and Hemi live with my ex, but I still see them fairly regularly. I do have to go out to take them to their vet visits and things like that, and I pay for everything just due to our circumstances. So I pay for their food and their vet visits, and, that kind of stuff. And then Sparky, my sweet, sweet golden boy, he's with me. We now live in a small town near where I grew up, which I wasn't very far from it anyways. But yeah, we live in a small town, and we live on actually a big property, so there's lots of space for him to run around. So he's definitely become a brave boy, and he and I love to show off his training, because on this property there are lots of houses backing onto it, and lots of people are allowed to walk nearby. And they like to bring their very untrained, unbehaved dogs. And I understand. It's so nice to let your dogs run somewhere that's far from roads and safe. Or far enough from a road, I should say, because you can still hear traffic from my house. It's very annoying. But my thing is just that you should have your dog trained if they're going to be off leash, unless it's your own private property. And Sparky is. When we first moved here, I wasn't too concerned with his training, but when those encounters started happening, I started freshening him up, and I'm not going to lie, it was like day 1, day 2, and I was like, you are the best boy ever. You're such a good golden boy, good golden boy, good golden boy. Because he just had most of it all there. He was like 90% still there. That's not to say I didn't have him do, sits and downs and things like that, but just when you're out and about in the world, or he's on a leash, those are different. Those can be very different scenarios than just making him, lay down in the house and things like that. So, anyways, so that's how it is, and I'm very happy with that. I like it being just me and Sparky right now. But I'm also still healing. Still recovering from that burnout. And I mean, that last job didn't really help either. So that job where I was scheduling PSWs, I only left it because I did get another job. And that lasted for not even 3 days. I couldn't keep up with it, even within the training period. Admittedly, the company or the business was going through something very unexpected the day that I started, so it made it very difficult for me, and I couldn't do it, being as burned out as I am. So I do hope that they found someone. That was quite a while ago at this point. That was in April, I think. So now I'm just trying to find a job, just to pay some of my bills at least. I think that some of you can infer that I don't have to worry too much right now. But I don't want to keep being so irresponsible. So I am trying to find just something real basic for now. Customer service kind of thing. Which is, I know, not always fun. I know it's not always fun, but computers and schedules and emails, fluorescent freaking lighting, man. Ooh, no thank you. I mean, I guess pretty much everywhere you go is horrible lighting. Especially for me, because I love it in the dark. Like, in my bedroom, I have a Aurora light. Aurora. And I use it every single night. I love it so much. And it's about the only thing I have on, unless I am doing something where I need that light, like drawing or a puzzle. But mostly I'm just reading or watching TV. And hopefully now doing more of this. And the funny thing is, I shouldn't say the funny thing, I had that job that didn't last this year. It wasn't the only one where I had a difficult encounter trying to get into, a medical reception kind of role. And the hard thing is right now, well, I always have, the way the sentence started. I live in Ontario, Canada, and our healthcare is just, quite frankly, going to poop. It's going to poop. It makes me very sad, and I think that's part of the reason why I wanted to get into it, because it wasn't even that great, 4 or 5 years ago. Oh no. Oh, I think we are still recording. My screen went off again, but because it's plugged in this time, it actually stays active. Maybe I'll shake the mouse though. Well, it's a mouse pad, but you know. We will fine-tune this. I will figure this out, because I do have to say, one of the other projects I'm thinking about would be in a similar vein. It would be recording. So I will definitely be improving all of this. And if I keep this up, I will definitely be buying a computer, which is a desire I want just for myself, because I just want to throw this damn Chromebook out the window half the time. Between this and the poor internet that we have. Well, it's not poor, but with 3 of us, it's a bit of a struggle sometimes. And I'm, of course, one of the furthest points in the house. My bedroom is one of the furthest points from the Wi-Fi. But even one of the other bedrooms that is closer, she still says it's a problem too. The funny thing about my situation, when I first moved in, it was actually me and one of the women, and their dog too. So it was 2 women, 2 dogs. 2 women, 2 dogs. Actually, it was even better because it was 2 women, 2 boys, 2 male dogs. And then recently we had a 3rd person move in. They are a friend of my roommates. And that helps because I know financially that's just a little bit better on them. These are tough times. If you are struggling, you're not alone. You're not alone. I almost want to cry. Jeez. Oh, anyways. Oh, and then sorry, the last woman who moved in, she does have a dog as well, and a cat. The cat stays in one room, though, because we both really didn't want a cat roaming around. We leave doors open sometimes, because it's a big farmish property, so if the dogs go outside, it's usually okay. Except for one time with Sparky, which is what really triggered me to train him again, because he darted so fast out the front door, and I had no clue why. And then I saw a jackrabbit, and it was unfortunately heading roughly in the direction of the road, so I absolutely lost my bananas on Sparky, because that was the first time I had ever seen his prey drive in action, and I swear it took me screaming at the top of my lungs to reach that tiny little pea brain he had in that moment. Just in that moment. He is such a smart and good boy. But in that moment, he saw nothing but that jackrabbit. And while the road was still quite a ways away, I just didn't want to lose control of the situation. My brain always jumps to all the conclusions that it can see. And it usually focuses on the worst ones, of course. And I thought, if anything, I think you all know. A little sniffly today. It just seemed to be welling up, but I think that I am tapping back into some things. I'm also finally able to live in a way that I can see my own body's rhythms, from my brain to my hormones, that silly womb thing that I don't actually want or need in this life. All the weird stuff it does to me month after month. So I'm slowly getting a handle on all of that, and it's helping me to know, like, it might be in a rough time right now, but in a week it could be better. Let's be real. Everything about life can be so rough right now. But when your head, or your hormones, which is also your head, I do recognize that, when that goes a little bit wonky, it can really take you down a notch, especially when you're dealing with things like executive dysfunction. So again, if you deal with any struggles related to something like autism, ADHD, neurodivergence in general, you are not alone, and I'm pretty sure the last few years have taught us all that. Sorry, I'm gonna definitely have to make this setup better, because my back is starting to get sore, but that's okay, because I'm almost done. For today, I just wanted to come and maybe ramble and give you head scritches. I didn't think that I would ramble so much in my story, though. But that's okay. Maybe I won't put this up. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll just record head scratching. Anyways, for now, I think I'll leave it at that. I know that I mentioned something earlier that was related to the ADHD or the autism, and I said I would circle back around to it or come and explain it later, but I've forgotten what it was. Oh, maybe it was the accents, actually, because now I understand why I slip in and out of accents all the time. Usually I'm fairly aware that it's happening, and I'm also very aware that they're horrible and they get muddled and they slip together. That's okay, because it's just being silly. And quite frankly, I started to feel like life isn't actually real. Like, it's real, but it's kind of not. I mean, if nothing else, we've made up so much of our lives in terms of capitalism, and let's just not go down that road, Brie. Let's just not go down there. Anyways, I hope that you are all doing well. I don't know what the future of this channel holds or anything else that I will do, and quite frankly, I've always been too controlling in trying to drive something to a certain direction. At this point, I just want to start just doing and living. It kind of feels like living for the first time. I say from a tiny, stuffy, hot closet. Yep, okay. I'm just being silly. If this keeps up, I will actually create a small little, setup in one of my rooms with a lot of sound absorption and stuff. But for now, we'll just use the closet. Oh god, I'm back in the closet, guys. I'm back in the closet. Ooh, one last thing. I discovered about myself that I had been questioning for a long time, but it was more a matter of not understanding as well as I should have because of misconceptions that are out there in general society. But I've come to know that I do reside under the asexual umbrella, which makes sense with the autisms. Not everyone, of course, who's autistic is asexual or anything under that umbrella. I'm still figuring out the micro labels on myself here, but now I understand a lot of you are very weird to me. And that's okay, because I am very weird to you. And that's okay, because that's what makes life interesting. We just have to learn to listen and accept each other. We don't have to truly understand, because if we can't understand, we can't understand. But you don't need to understand someone to respect them. And now I'm getting preachy. Preachy. I have spent my last few years on some good stuff. Really growing my mind. So that's good. I hope you have too. Or living life. Jumping off cliffs. Going for hikes. Reading good books. Listen, I get you. Sometimes it's just too hot and bucky out there, and I don't want to jump off a cliff either. And when I said that, actually, I also meant jumping off into water. I don't think I said that, and I really should specify that. I'm so sorry. I didn't. No, you're okay. You jumped into a big, safe body of water. Okay. Anyways. I will hopefully talk to you again soon. And for a long time, or that's not coming out correctly, for a good long time, I think these are just going to be audio only. So it'll be nice with a black screen. I know visual ASMR is so good, but that's another thing that I think was getting to me, was being on camera. I'm not saying I won't ever do it again, but I'm going to do things that make me feel a lot more comfortable. Because that's how it should be, and that's how you should live your life. Be happy. Be kind. Love yourself. Give yourself a little hug. I'll give you a little hug too. Squeeze. Alright. I hope that you have a good whatever time of day it is. I hope that you are doing well. Thank you so much for listening. It's kind of crazy to be back, so thank you.